Hollywood romances may light up the red carpet, but behind those picture-perfect smiles lie breakups that left fans speechless. Some couples seemed untouchable, like true love written in the stars. But then came the twists no one expected: shocking scandals, quiet separations, and heartbreak hidden behind the glamour. From iconic legends to rising stars, these 8 celebrity breakups are as jaw-dropping as they are unforgettable. Get ready to revisit the most surprising splits in exposed Hollywood history. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because the real drama always happens off-camera. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, once the poster couple for second chances, have quietly closed the final chapter of their Hollywood love story. On August 16, 2024, exactly 2 years after their long-awaited wedding, Lopez filed for divorce in Los Angeles County Superior Court, citing irreconcilable differences. No explosive headlines. No scandal. Just a silent ending to a love story that had once defied the odds. But the signs were there. Affleck was missing from key milestones, skipping the premiere of Atlas and absent during Lopez's highly anticipated This Is Me tour rollout. At the 2024 Met Gala, Lopez walked the red carpet alone, her wedding ring noticeably gone. Whispers of distance turned into confirmations. Sources revealed the couple had been living separately for weeks. Those close to them spoke of diverging paths. Lopez, ever the powerhouse, was fully immersed in music, film, and business ventures. Affleck, in contrast, longed for a quieter life, one grounded in directing and time with his children. They still love each other, a source confessed, but they just couldn't meet in the middle anymore. Their 2021 reunion had captivated the world, rekindling a flame nearly 2 decades after their first engagement ended. From a spontaneous Las Vegas elopement in 2022 to a lavish Georgia ceremony, it felt like a true fairy tale come true. Lopez often spoke of fate, of love finding its way back. But lately, her words carried a different weight. Her summer tour was suddenly canceled, citing personal reasons, and Affleck was spotted alone in Brentwood, his wedding band gone. No press conference. No tearful interview. Just silence. A romance reborn only to unravel once more. Was it truly over, or is there still a chapter left unwritten? Meryl Streep and Don Gummer, a love story that once seemed unshakable, quietly came to an end in late 2023 after 44 years of marriage. Their journey began at Yale in the early 1970s, where a young actress and a rising sculptor found a bond rooted in creativity and deep mutual respect. They married in June 1978 and built a life that, for decades, was held up as a model of enduring love in the unpredictable world of fame and art. Meryl, the legendary 3-time Oscar winner and face of American cinema, and Don, a celebrated sculptor whose work graced galleries from New York to Paris, shared more than a home. They shared a devotion to their crafts and to the family they built. Together, they raised 4 children: Henry, Mary, Grace, and Louisa, fiercely protecting their private world from public intrusion. Though rarely speaking of their relationship, they often appeared arm in arm at premieres and art shows, a quiet reminder that not all Hollywood marriages end in flames. But by the fall of 2023, subtle signs of separation surfaced. Then came the joint statement, calm, respectful, and heartbreakingly serene. They revealed that while their love had endured decades of art, parenting, and growth, they had made the peaceful decision to live apart. There was no scandal, no bitter fallout, just 2 people whose paths had gradually diverged. Their children, now grown, are spread across the country, forging their own lives. The couple divided their assets, including homes in Manhattan and Connecticut, quietly and amicably under a long-standing prenuptial agreement. Today, Streep continues her acclaimed film work and advocacy, while Gummer returns to his studio, preparing for a solo exhibition in spring 2024. Their love story may have shifted, but it remains a rare portrait of grace, evolution, and the quiet dignity of letting go. Reese Witherspoon and Jim Toth, once viewed as one of Hollywood's most grounded, drama-free couples, shocked fans in March 2023 with a quiet yet heartfelt announcement: they were ending their marriage. In a joint social media statement filled with grace, they wrote, "We have lovingly and carefully decided to end our marriage." We remain committed to our deep friendship and to co-parenting with love. Their love story began in 2010 at a charity event, where Reese, fresh off an Oscar win for Walk the Line, met Jim Toth, a respected agent at Creative Artists Agency. Sparks flew, and just a year later, they tied the knot at her charming ranch in Ojai, California. Their union brought the birth of their son Tennessee in 2012 and the beginnings of an adoption journey in 2019. But by late 2022, the signs of distance became harder to ignore. Reese was deeply immersed in expanding her media company, Hello Sunshine, and advocating for women in film. Jim's role at sea demanded long hours and frequent travel. Friends close to the couple quietly acknowledged that their lives had grown in different directions, not out of bitterness, but evolution. Still, when the announcement came, it wasn't scandalous, it was serene. There were no public feuds or harsh words. Reese was granted primary custody, while both retained legal rights. Thanks to a prenuptial agreement, the financial side was resolved without dispute. Since the split, Reese has continued to grow her media empire and has spoken candidly about the realities of navigating single motherhood. Meanwhile, Jim has stepped away from the limelight, focusing on mentoring and private ventures. Their breakup, while tender and personal, became a quiet masterclass in how to end a chapter with dignity, respect, and unwavering love for the family they built together. Cardi B and Offset's relationship has always played out like a roller coaster, equal parts passion, chaos, and tabloid-fueled drama. They secretly tied the knot in 2017 and since then, weathered waves of infidelity, a near divorce in 2020, and countless public makeups and breakups. But by mid-2024, the cracks had deepened beyond repair. In early August, Cardi quietly filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. This time, there were no explosive Instagram rants or cryptic Twitter posts, just a quiet, deliberate decision to walk away from a love that had lost its rhythm. Fans began to notice the growing distance. Offset retreated from the spotlight while Cardi pushed forward, dropping new music, appearing at events solo, and embracing life as a mother to their 3 children, Culture, Wave, and Little Legend. Her social media, once filled with playful chaos, now carried a tone of emotional exhaustion. Sources close to the couple say the years of trying to rebuild had finally taken their toll. The weight of past betrayals, the glare of constant scrutiny, and the demands of fame left them emotionally drained. Professionally, Cardi was thriving. But personally, she was searching for something far more valuable, peace. Offset, too, had grown weary of the never-ending spotlight. Their separation, though painful, was handled with a maturity that surprised many. Cardi requested sole physical and joint legal custody, signaling a desire to co-parent with grace. Thanks to a solid prenup, there were no drawn-out battles over money or assets. What remains between them isn't just a shared catalog of chart-topping hits, but a bond shaped by family, lessons, and growth. And for fans watching from afar, it's a sobering reminder, even the most glamorous love stories, lived in full view of the world, are still achingly human. Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum, once hailed as Hollywood's next power couple, quietly ended their engagement in October 2024, leaving fans stunned by the calmness of their parting. Their love story first began charming the public in early 2022, with stolen glances, effortless chemistry, and red carpet moments that felt straight out of a modern fairy tale. Kravitz, the effortlessly cool actress and musician behind High Fidelity and frontwoman of The High Priestess, seemed to find perfect balance with Tatum, the charismatic heartthrob of Magic Mike and 21 Jump Street fame. Together, they radiated a sense of creative harmony, 2 artists walking in sync through both fame and the quiet corners of real life. But by late summer 2024, something had shifted. The paparazzi sightings slowed. Social media went silent, and their once-aligned paths began to drift. Kravitz threw herself into music and indie films, while Tatum turned his attention to fatherhood and work behind the camera. Insiders say there was no dramatic fallout, just the natural rhythm of life pulling 2 people in different directions. In October, the couple released a heartfelt joint statement: "We grew together, but sometimes growing apart is the kindest choice." It was a breakup marked not by scandal, but by maturity, and that quiet grace struck a chord with fans of all ages. There were no legal battles, no tabloid headlines, just the dignified closing of a chapter that once felt full of promise. And for many, especially older fans, it served as a poignant reminder. Sometimes love isn't about holding on forever, but knowing when to let go, with respect, with care, and with your head held high. Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello, a love story that once lit up red carpets and magazine covers, quietly came to an end in July 2023 after nearly 7 years of marriage. In a heartfelt joint statement, they announced their decision. After much thought, we have made the difficult choice to amicably part ways, with love and respect for one another. Their romance began like a scene from a movie, a chance meeting at a friend's birthday party in 2014, followed by a whirlwind engagement just months later, and a picture-perfect wedding in Palm Beach in November 2015. Sofia, born in 1972, rose from Colombian telenovelas to global stardom as Gloria on Modern Family, eventually building a powerful lifestyle brand. Joe, born in 1976, carved out his own path with memorable roles in Magic Mike, True Blood, and Justice League, earning a reputation for his charisma and commanding screen presence. Together, they seemed unstoppable, always supporting one another's ventures, sharing playful admiration in interviews, and radiating chemistry at every public appearance. But behind the glamour, they kept their relationship deeply private. By mid-2023, whispers began to surface. Insiders noted a growing distance, not in affection, but in geography and career demands. Sofia was busy filming a major series in Los Angeles and expanding her business empire, while Joe was splitting his time between Atlanta and Miami, focused on film projects and his fitness brand. There was no scandal, no tabloid meltdown, just two ambitious individuals whose lives gradually pulled them in different directions. Their farewell wasn't bitter. It was mature. "We cherish our time together," they said, a simple line that carried the weight of real love and mutual respect. For many longtime fans, it was a bittersweet reminder that even the strongest bonds can shift, and that sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go with grace. Jessica Alba and Cash Warren were never the couple chasing headlines, and that's exactly why people loved them. For nearly 2 decades, they quietly built a life that felt real in a town known for make-believe. Married in May 2008, their love story began behind the scenes and grew into a strong, private partnership centered on raising their 3 children: Honor, born 2008, Haven, 2011, and Hayes, 2017. They weren't regulars in the tabloids, and that was the point. They let their bond, not the spotlight, do the talking. Jessica, born April 28, 1981, skyrocketed to fame in Dark Angel before transforming herself into a powerhouse entrepreneur with The Honest Company, a billion-dollar lifestyle brand launched in 2011. Cash Warren, born January 10, 1979, carved his own path in the film world, producing thought-provoking projects like Crips and Bloods, Made in America. Together, they were often admired as one of Hollywood's rare, normal couples, low-key, grounded, and united. But by late 2023, whispers of change began to swirl. Fewer joint appearances. A noticeable quiet on social media. The warm glances once shared on red carpets had faded. Insiders revealed that their lives had slowly taken different paths. Jessica's empire required relentless hours and global travel, while Cash leaned into fatherhood and creative independence. In January 2025, they announced their separation, not with scandal, but with sincerity. In a joint statement, they called it a choice born from growth, not resentment. No lawsuits, no bitterness, just mutual respect and a shared devotion to their children. Jessica was later spotted walking her kids to school. Cash beamed in the front row at a recital. For many, their story is a reminder that not all love ends in chaos. Sometimes it shifts, it matures. And even as romantic partners part ways, a family can remain whole, reimagined, but intact. Jessica and Cash didn't just walk away from each other, they walked forward with grace. Jessica Simpson and Eric Johnson, once the picture of lasting love in Hollywood, are now quietly going their separate ways. In January 2025, after nearly 14 years together and over a decade of marriage, the couple confirmed what fans never saw coming: a separation. No messy headlines. No divorce papers, at least not yet. But sources close to them say the distance is real. They're living apart and trying to navigate a new, difficult chapter. To the world, Jessica and Eric looked unbreakable. She was the pop princess turned powerhouse entrepreneur. A devoted mother of 3 and an outspoken voice for mental health and sobriety. He was the quiet, grounded former NFL star who stepped away from fame to support his family. They first met back in 2010 and tied the knot in a dreamy Montecito wedding in 2014. Together, they built a beautiful family: Maxwell, Ace, and Birdie. On Instagram, it all looked perfect. Family vacations, sweet birthday posts, romantic tributes. Jessica often called Eric her rock, her best friend. But behind the polished photos, cracks had begun to form. Insiders revealed that emotional distance had been growing for over a year. Jessica was in go mode, relaunching her billion-dollar fashion empire, promoting her best-selling memoir, and diving headfirst into new wellness ventures. Meanwhile, Eric craved something simpler: routine, privacy, a sense of calm. What once balanced them slowly began pulling them apart. Still, their split is a rare kind in Hollywood: quiet, respectful, and full of love for the children they continue to raise together. No scandals. No finger-pointing. Just two people realizing that growth sometimes means growing apart. For fans who watch their love story unfold, it's a bittersweet reminder: not all endings are failures. Sometimes, letting go is the bravest, most loving thing you can do. Thanks for watching Exposed Hollywood. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories behind the stars.